Your wife just turned 42 and suddenly she's different. She's scrolling through Instagram liking photos of shirtless 25-year-olds. She's rewatching Bridgerton for the fifth time. She mentions how her coworker's son grew up handsome. She starts going to the gym at weird hours when all the young guys are there. Then, one day, she tells you she's not happy and needs space to find herself. 3 months later, she's posting selfies with someone who could be your son. Let me tell you what's really happening when middle-aged women suddenly develop a taste for younger men, because it's not what they're telling themselves, and it's definitely not what they're telling you. Here's a reality check that'll sting. When a woman over 40 suddenly wants younger men, it's rarely about desire. It's about desperation. It's about looking in the mirror and seeing mortality. It's about realizing the marriage she thought would fulfill her has become a daily reminder of everything she didn't become. But instead of dealing with these feelings honestly, she constructs an elaborate fantasy where she's not aging out of relevance. She's finally free to explore. The illusion of empowerment is everywhere. Social media celebrates these women as cougars and queens, women who know what they want. But talk to these women privately after a few drinks, and you'll hear a different story. Exhaustion, humiliation, confusion. The 28-year-old who seemed so into her, he ghosted after 3 weeks. The passionate affair that made her feel alive. He was texting 4 other women the whole time. I counsel these women regularly. They come in talking about liberation and self-discovery. But within 20 minutes, they're crying about feeling invisible, worthless, used. One client, 44, executive, left. Months later, she's in my office. Broke because she funded his business ideas, alone because he left for someone his own age, and humiliated because everyone warned her. The emotional exhaustion driving this behavior is profound. After 20 years of marriage, years of feeling unseen, unappreciated, taken for granted, these women are running on empty. They're not really attracted to younger men. They're attracted to the idea of being wanted again. They're chasing a feeling, not a person. The younger man isn't a partner. He's a painkiller for midlife irrelevance. The romantic asymmetry in these relationships is brutal. She thinks they have a deep connection because he listens to her problems. He's thinking about how his friends will react when they see her. She's planning weekend getaways and meeting families. He's making sure she doesn't post photos that his buddies might see. She's falling in love. He's getting his rent paid. The divergent intentions couldn't be clearer. She wants validation that she's still desirable, still worthy of pursuit, still capable of inspiring passion. He wants the experience, the story, maybe some financial benefits, definitely the sex with someone who knows what they're doing. Neither is getting what they really need, but both pretend they're winning. I watched this play out with a neighbor. Woman in her mid-40s started dating her son's friend's older brother. Guy was maybe 27. She was glowing, posting about age being just a number, finally being appreciated. 3 months in, she's paying for his car repairs. 6 months in, she's covering his rent. 8 months in, he leaves her for a 23-year-old, and she's destroyed. The transactional dynamics flip in these relationships, and women aren't prepared for it. Suddenly, have dealt with forever, and they hate it. One client spent $30,000 in 6 months on a younger boyfriend. Trips, clothes covering his temporary unemployment. She called it supporting his dreams. He called it Tuesday. When she finally asked about their future, he said he wasn't ready for anything serious. With her money in his account and her dignity in shreds, she learned what men have always known. You can't buy genuine desire. The reality behind cougar culture is pathetic, not powerful. For every success story, there are hundreds of women sitting alone at wine bars, swiping through dating apps, lowering their age requirements, wondering why men their own age aren't interested, while men half their age only want one thing. The empowerment narrative is marketing, not reality. These women go to cougar nights at clubs, surrounded by other desperate women competing for the from space. And everyone sees it except them. The biological and social double standard is harsh but real. A 45-year-old man with money and status can date 25-year-olds indefinitely. A 45-year-old woman, regardless of her achievements, is fighting biology. Her fertility window is closed. Her physical prime is past. The younger men know they're doing her a favor, not the other way round. This isn't fair, but it's reality. Society celebrates George Clooney marrying someone decades younger, but mocks Madonna for dating younger men. Why? Because one follows biological imperatives and the other fights them. Men's value can increase with age through resources and status. Women's biological value, harsh but true, peaks early and declines. Pretending otherwise doesn't change the reality of human mating patterns. The entitlement paradox is stunning. These women, despite needing, going to court a 45-year-old like she's prime marriage material. A client complained that her younger boyfriend never took her on real dates. He'd come over, they'd have sex, maybe watch Netflix, he'd leave. She couldn't understand why he wouldn't put in effort. I had to explain. You're not his girlfriend. You're his Tuesday night. Harsh? Yes. True. Also, yes. The decline of romantic compatibility becomes obvious quickly. She wants to discuss mortgage refinancing. He wants to discuss the new PlayStation. She's worried about her teenager's college applications. He's worried about his Tinder matches. She needs someone who understands perimenopause. He doesn't even know what that is. The lifestyle mismatch alone kills most of these relationships. She's in bed by 10 p.m. He's going out at 11. She wants quiet dinners. He wants clubs and parties. She has responsibilities. Bridge. The financial burden and role reversal break these women. They're suddenly paying for everything. and they resent it. They wanted equality when men were paying. Now that they're paying, they understand why men complained. The dinner bills, the trips, the help with his expenses, it adds up fast when you're the only one contributing. I know a woman who paid off her younger boyfriend's student loans, thinking they were building a future together. 2 months after the last payment, he left. When she asked why, he said he never saw this as serious. $40,000 she'll never see again for a relationship that existed only in her head. The child and family barrier is insurmountable. Most women over 40 have kids, exes, complicated histories. The younger man doesn't want to play stepdad to teenagers. He doesn't want to deal with her ex-husband. He doesn't want the baggage.